Today, I want to begin with a simple but powerful phrase. I choose growth. Take a moment, type it in the comments below, and let that be your intention for the day. Because growth, real, intentional growth, requires awareness. And that's what we're doing today, building awareness of the habits that are holding you back. These aren't just bad habits, they're anti-Stoic. They clash with everything we're striving to achieve as people seeking peace, clarity, and strength in this chaotic world. Habit number 1, complaining about what you can't control. Complaining about what we can't control is like cursing the sky for being cloudy. The sky doesn't care, it simply is. The Stoics taught us that peace comes not from controlling the external, but from mastering our internal responses. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. Complaining won't make the cars disappear. But what you can control is how you use that time. Maybe you listen to a podcast, practice deep breathing, or use the moment to reflect on what truly matters. Here's a key exercise. Create a control list. Take a situation that's bothering you and divide it into 2 columns. On one side, list what's in your control, your actions, your mindset. On the other, what's outside it, others' behavior, the weather, traffic. Focus solely on the first column. Over time, you'll train your mind to let go of the rest. Complaints are wasted energy. Redirect that energy towards solutions or acceptance, and watch your inner calm grow. Habit number 2, seeking validation from others. Seeking validation is like chasing a shadow. You'll never catch it, and you'll exhaust yourself in the process. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about the times you've altered your behavior or decisions just to gain approval. Maybe you wore something you didn't like, avoided speaking your mind, or said yes to something you wanted to refuse. Did those moments make you feel authentic, or did they leave you hollow? Here's a story. When Socrates was insulted in public, his response was legendary. He didn't retaliate. He didn't even defend himself. He simply asked, "Am I the person they claim me to be? If not, why should he care? If yes, then he had work to do." To break free from this habit, spend time in solitude. Get to know yourself without external noise. Ask, what truly matters to me? When you find your inner compass, you won't need others to tell you which way to go. Validation feels good in the moment, but self-respect lasts a lifetime. Prioritize the latter. Habit number 3, living for the future while ignoring the present. Living for the future can feel responsible, but it often robs us of today. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." How often do we put life on hold? We tell ourselves, "I'll relax when I retire," or "I'll be happy once I achieve X." But life isn't something that starts later. It's happening now. Consider this. When was the last time you truly savored a moment? Maybe it was a family dinner, a sunset, or a quiet walk. Did you experience it fully, or were you distracted by thoughts of the next task? Here's an exercise. Set a timer for 10 minutes each day to practice mindfulness. During that time, focus on your senses, what you see, hear, smell, and feel. This simple practice can help you anchor yourself in the present. The Stoics remind us that the future is uncertain, and the past is gone. The present moment is all we ever truly own. Don't trade it away for illusions. Habit number 4, overindulging in distractions. Distractions aren't just time stealers, they're life stealers. Every moment spent scrolling endlessly on social media or binge-watching TV is a moment not spent building something meaningful. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The problem with distractions is that they're easy. They don't demand much of us. But over time, They create a life of mediocrity. Imagine if the hours spent on distractions were instead used to learn a new skill, strengthen relationships, or reflect on your purpose. Here's a personal example. I once realized I was spending hours each day watching random YouTube videos. I wasn't learning, I was escaping. So I decided to replace 1 hour of screen time with journaling. It was uncomfortable at first, but it transformed my evenings into a time of growth and reflection. Here's a practical tip. Use the 80-20 rule for your time. Identify the 20% of activities that bring you the most value and joy, and focus on those. Cut back on the rest. Remember, distractions are temporary highs, but a life of purpose brings lasting fulfillment. Habit number 5. Avoiding discomfort at all costs. We live in a world that glorifies comfort, comfortable homes, comfortable jobs, even comfortable workouts. But the Stoics understood that growth lies just beyond the edge of comfort. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Think about a time when you avoided discomfort. Maybe you stayed in a job you didn't like because it was familiar, or avoided a difficult conversation because it was awkward. Did avoiding it make the problem disappear, or did it grow larger? To build resilience, practice voluntary discomfort. For example, skip a meal once a week to understand hunger, take cold showers to strengthen your resolve, or intentionally go without luxuries for a day. These small acts remind you that you're stronger than your fears. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the catalyst for transformation. Lean into it, and you'll find your true strength. Habit number 6. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a subtle thief. It doesn't just steal your happiness, it steals your sense of self. Epictetus said, "Envy is the enemy of happiness. Do not be a slave to what others think." Social media has amplified this habit. We see curated lives and mistake them for reality. But remember, you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Here's a strategy. Every time you catch yourself comparing, shift your focus to gratitude. Write down 3 things you're proud of about yourself. Maybe it's your kindness, your determination, or a recent accomplishment. Gratitude dissolves envy because it reminds you of your own abundance. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. That's where growth happens. Habit number 7. Procrastinating on your values. Procrastination isn't just about putting off chores or work. It's about delaying the life you're truly meant to live. Think about this for a moment. What are your values? What principles guide your decisions? If you're uncertain, that's already a sign you might be procrastinating on defining them. Marcus Aurelius taught us to live each day as if it were our last. He said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't about living recklessly, it's about living intentionally. Here's an exercise. Write down your top 3 values, perhaps kindness, growth, or courage. Then ask yourself, what have I done today to honor these values? For example, if you value kindness, did you go out of your way to help someone? If you value growth, did you learn something new or challenge yourself? Procrastination often comes from fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, or even fear of success. But avoiding these fears only makes them grow. Start small. If your value is self-discipline, commit to waking up 10 minutes earlier tomorrow. If it's creativity, spend just 5 minutes doodling or brainstorming. Each step matters. The Stoics remind us that we're building our lives action by action. Don't let fear of imperfection stop you from starting. As the saying goes, done is better than perfect. So, what's one thing you've been putting off that aligns with your values? Start it today. Habit number 8. Reacting emotionally to everything. Our emotions are powerful, but if we let them control us, they can wreak havoc on our lives. Think about the last time you reacted out of anger or frustration. Did it solve the problem? or did it escalate things? Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." This advice is revolutionary. Instead of blaming external events or people for your emotional state, turn inward. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction justified? What am I truly seeking right now? Validation, control, or something else? A useful Stoic practice here is journaling. At the end of each day, reflect on moments when you felt emotionally charged. Write down what triggered you, how you reacted, and whether that reaction aligned with your values. Over time, you'll start noticing patterns. Another tool is the Stoic pause. When you feel anger, sadness, or fear rising, take 3 deep breaths. In those moments of stillness, you regain control. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of yelling or honking, remind yourself, "This event doesn't diminish my character. How I respond does." Emotions aren't the enemy, but they need guidance. Let reason be the captain of your ship, and emotions the wind that helps you sail. Otherwise, you'll be tossed around by every storm. Habit number 9. Overvaluing material possessions. Material things can provide comfort and convenience, but they often become chains disguised as treasures. Think about it. How many things have you purchased in the last year that you thought would make you happy? How many of them actually did? Seneca wrote, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." This includes power over your desires. Advertisements, social media, and peer pressure constantly tell us we need more gadgets, more clothes, more luxury. But the truth is, every new thing we acquire also demands something from us: our money, time, or mental space. The next time you're tempted to buy something, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will it bring lasting joy, or is it just a distraction from something deeper I need to address? For example, buying an expensive watch might make you feel confident momentarily, but have you considered whether that confidence could be built internally instead? Instead of accumulating things, focus on accumulating experiences, skills, and relationships. Imagine spending less on material possessions and more on travel, personal development courses, or even helping others. True wealth isn't in the things you own. It's in the freedom and peace you feel. Minimalism isn't about living with nothing. It's about living with intention. Practice gratitude for what you already have, and you'll find you need far less than you think. Habit number 10. Overthinking and worrying about the future. Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. When you're consumed by worry, you're borrowing trouble from a future that hasn't even arrived yet. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Think about how much energy you've wasted on scenarios that never happened. Maybe you've stayed up late, worrying about a presentation at work, only to find it went smoothly. Or perhaps you've been paralyzed by fear of failure, only to realize later that failure was your greatest teacher. One powerful Stoic practice to combat overthinking is premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This involves briefly imagining the worst-case scenario, not to dwell on it, but to prepare yourself. Ask, if this worst-case scenario happened, how would I handle it? What steps could I take to recover? This exercise transforms fear into confidence because you realize that no matter what happens, you have the tools to face it. The next step is grounding yourself in the present moment. When your mind starts spinning with worry, pause and ask yourself, what can I control right now? What action, however small, can I take to address this concern? Action dissolves anxiety far more effectively than endless rumination. Remember, your life is happening now, not in the imagined disasters of tomorrow. Trust in your ability to face challenges when they come, and let the future take care of itself. Each of these habits is like a weight tied to your ankles as you try to swim through life. Imagine cutting them away, one by one. How much lighter would you feel? How much farther could you go? The Stoics taught us that the path to peace is not easy, but it's simple. Strip away what doesn't serve you. Focus on what does. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these habits will you commit to removing from your life today? Comment below, and let's hold each other accountable. The serene beach at sunset with the phrase on screen. Simplify your life. Embrace your strength. Live with purpose.